Good morning, St. Kitts and Nevis, and welcome to The Edge for today, Thursday, November 21st, 2024. I'm Devonne Cornelius, and thank you for joining me on the program for today. This is being carried live via our social media platforms. Check us out on our Facebook page at ZIZ Broadcasting Corporation and via our YouTube channel, ZIZ Online. When we open the phone lines, you may call us at 465-2555 or 718-577-2916. And we are also live on TV via Channel 5. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. And thank you for tuning in to today's edition of The Edge. Today I want to look at two things that came out of the roundtable discussion on Wednesday. And the first one relates to the upcoming budget 2025. Of course, you know, traditionally takes place in December of this year, where the parliamentarians meet and they look at the appropriation bill, otherwise known as the budget for St. Kitts and Nevis, in terms of how the government is going to spend money and what areas they are going to prioritize for the next fiscal year 2025-2026 thereabout. And we're looking at areas of education, health, tourism, national security, agriculture, infrastructure, and the list goes on. So during the roundtable discussion on Wednesday, the Prime Minister spoke to that and gave an idea of what the budget may look like and the areas that they will be prioritizing. So he basically mentioned that it will be a heavy focus on diversification in terms of looking at different areas of the economy and tapping into other industries. And this has been the latest focus of the government to diversify the economy, because over the years St. Kitts and Nevis has been heavily reliant on proceeds from the Citizenship by Investment program, which is susceptible to international scrutiny and politics. And so as instead of having all of your eggs in one basket, they're looking to invest heavily in other areas. So there was a national budget forum, which was, I believe, on October 30th. And it provided the platform for members of the public to go and share their ideas, not just public, but the private sector and civil society, to share their ideas, views, insights, and suggestions for consideration in shaping the budget this coming December. The Prime Minister said on Wednesday, quote, they provided some excellent ideas, and I welcome that. We heard from the Governor of the Central Bank, we heard from the Chamber of Industry and Commerce, and that has helped tremendously in putting the 2025 budget together. Now, using the 2025 budget as a catalyst, Dr. Ju said it is the government's intention to build an economy that leverages traditional strengths and new ideas, while at the same time reducing the country's heavy dependence on any single sector, The CBI program, he said, quote, is used to pay infrastructure, water, electricity, social programs such as STEP, gas, electricity, the very day-to-day running of the country. The CBI is paying for that. Now, the shift represents more than just a policy, he said. It is a declaration of the government's commitment to long-term stability and resilience by channeling investments in areas like renewable energy, agriculture, and tourism. He added that we are laying a foundation for an economy that benefits every citizen, not just today, but for generations to come. Prime Minister Ju is expected to present the budget in December during a sitting of the National Assembly of St. Kitts and Nevis. We're going to open the phone lines early and give you, the listeners, an opportunity to call and weigh in on what you would like to see for Budget 2025. What are some areas that you believe the government should put more emphasis into? What are some of the areas or some things that you would like to see coming out of Budget 2025? We're talking about diversifying the economy. So what do you think we should do? And what do you think the government should really focus on if they're going to be serious about diversifying the economy and ensuring that all of our eggs are not in one basket and that we are not relying on one sector to be responsible for the day-to-day running of the country? It's 11 minutes past. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll open the phone lines and take your calls. Again, the numbers are 465-2555 or 718-577-2916. Let's take this break and we'll be right back.
Power Talk is Skellig's radio program aired the first and third Wednesday of every month. Tune in at 9:30 a.m. on ZIZ Radio for the latest information on what's happening at Skellig. Learn more about doing business with Skellig and the services that they offer. Power Talk, powered by Skellig.
Christmas, Digicel has the ultimate gift for you. Activate a 3-day plan or higher. Switch to Digicel or pay your bill in full and you're in with a chance to win a whole year of water, electricity, groceries, and your mobile bill on us. Imagine, no worries, just joy for a whole year. So don't wait. Visit your nearest Digicel store today for a chance to win. This Christmas, make it easy with Digicel. Terms and conditions apply. Digicel, better together this Christmas.
The MVI Connect is showing its appreciation for your support by offering its Christmas special discount price starting now. Sedans and regular SUVs can now make the crossing between our Twin Islands for only EC $200 round trip. Discounts available on other types of personal vehicles as well. At this price, there's no need to think about it. Just roll on, roll off, and go have fun. A new schedule takes effect from 1st November, so visit them at www.iconnectskn.com and iConnectSKN on Facebook, or call them at 662-6818 for up-to-date schedule and pricing information. MVI Connect, bridging the crossing.
Pandora Jewelry brings the sparkle to Black Friday with 30% off store-wide. Treat yourself or someone special with lovingly crafted jewelry and gifts. Shop now through December 3rd and enjoy 30% off your entire purchase. Only at Pandora Jewelry. Offer valid only at participating Pandora retailers. Exclusions apply. See stores for details.
Available at IC Jewelers Port Zante. Call 767-5037 for details.
Annual Trunk Show is back and better than ever. Enjoy 50% off your favorite frames and sunglasses from top brands like Perry Ellis, Calvin Klein, and more. Join us for 2 fun-filled days of unbeatable offers on Friday, November 22nd at Memorial Square in Nevis and Saturday, November 23rd from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Independence Square in St. Kitts. Bring the whole family and enjoy massive discounts for everyone. Don't miss out this spectacular event. For more info, call us at 465-6521. See you there.
Welcome back to The Edge on ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM. The phone lines are open and we are taking your calls 465-2555 or 577-2916. If you are just tuning in, you are listening to The Edge, and we're talking about economic diversification. The government is preparing for budget 2025, and one of the areas that they will be, well, the main aspect of the budget is to reflect diversification, and they would want to be tapping into different areas, exploring new markets, new export markets, or whatever the case may be, to diversify the economy and not to have us rely solely on one sector. There was a public forum where members of the public, the private sector, such as the Chamber of Industry and Commerce, the governor of the central bank, where they met and gave their ideas and suggestions for the budget in terms of what they would like to see form part of the budget. And so I'm giving you the opportunity to call in and talk about some of the areas that you believe the government should focus on for budget 2025. What are some areas that we could should really invest in? Are some areas that you believe are neglected and require more attention and focus? We have a caller. We'll take our first call for this morning. Hello, caller.
Yes. Hello, good morning, Devonne. We were looking at some more factory because I think it was shut down last week, and only Jao and the other one down Sunny Point is thing, and the girls are out to work. So we're looking at factory too. Like when the people then come here and think if with the business and they're ready to go, they're going to leave us and we ain't going to work. So I'm calling on the Prime Minister that could do that for us. Get some factory in St. Kitts, because only 2 we got here now in St. Kitts. And he advanced both the to him tomorrow, who live here in Sugar Bowl. And we hope the country will run good in 2025.
All right, caller, thank you so much for your contribution to the program. The phone lines remain open and we're taking your calls. 465-2555 or 718-577-2916. We're talking about economic diversification. What are some of the areas that you believe the government should focus on? What are some of the areas that you believe require attention if we're talking about economic diversification? I love that suggestion made by the caller in terms of having factories. Yes, we do have factories here in St. Kitts and Nevis, but perhaps we could look into different areas, different focus areas when you're talking about factories. So you have wood and paper, you have clothing and textiles, you have building materials, you have paint, you have machinery, and we have people in St. Kitts and Nevis who are people, nationals of St. Kitts and Nevis, who are skilled in those areas that I mentioned, but they're perhaps living abroad or in another region, showcasing their expertise and skills. If we do, after doing the market research, and we realize that this is something that would thrive in St. Kitts and Nevis, then I absolutely welcome it. But before we jump into things like these, of course, we have to ensure that we do our market research and look at how sustainable and profitable it is going to be. The phone lines are open and we take your calls. 465-2555. What are some of the areas that you believe that deserve more or require more attention if you're talking about economic diversification? Of course, one of the areas that I believe deserve, or one of the areas that we should really tap into or put more focus and more work into, is always agriculture. When you look at the food import bill, not just for the region, but specifically St. Kitts and Nevis, it is high. And with a high food import bill, there are so many things that we are affected by because of that. So with a high food import bill, it means that most of the foods that we are consuming are not local. With a high food import bill, it means that we have a lot of health issues, non-communicable diseases that our healthcare system has to deal with. And so there has been a lot of work done, a lot of work has been done to reduce the food import bill, where the Ministry of Agriculture in both St. Kitts and Nevis have been encouraging farmers and encouraging ordinary people to grow and eat local. Let's head back to the phone lines and we'll take this call. Caller, you're on the air. Good morning.
Greetings.
Yes, you're on the air. Good.
Okay, we want to raise something, but we want to continue with what you're talking about. Yeah, the high import bill is not just in a vacuum, you know. It embraces so many other things that is not pleasant, you know. Mm-hmm. And you touch the main thing, health issues. And it's visible, it's obvious, you know. They're really what we eat, you know. And the sooner we can get this thing as it ought to be, the better. Yeah, it's not just about the pocket, you know. It's about health issues, of course, and killing us. You know what we are consuming from the shelves is killing us. I mean, slowly, you know. And a lot of these things are addictive.
Yes.
Yeah, very much so. Okay. Recently we was hearing, and happily so, concerning the Up and Up. There was some teaching or some sessions of teaching youths about creativity and critical thinking. Mm-hmm. Yes, we welcome that. You know, it's overdue, but better late than never. You know, we have a lot of creative minds around St. Kitts and Nevis. You know, and we need to just make them be aflame, encourage them to be aflame. And concerning critical thinking, we need more of that. And the creative minds that is already, you know, here with us and showing what they can do. We need to encourage them more, you know, and a lot more. And the creative thinking also. We need to encourage the creative thinking. The critical thinkers that is around and about us. I find that people who are critical thinkers, we tend to, you know, see them as threats. In the scheme of things. But it's not so, because without a vision, a nation will perish. And we call ourselves a nation, you know. Although we need to take it much further, identifying our roots, you know. And we know that when African people speak or sing in one voice, you know, not because we were taken away and we are where we are in the colony of the West Indies and the other surroundings. We are an African people, and if we can start showing that example here in the colony of the West Indies, the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, we are good to go. We are in a global village, and we need to set that pace wherever we can. You know, give thanks to the time. Blessed love.
Thank you, caller, so much for your contribution to the program. It's 11:24, and you're listening to The Edge. As you were talking about critical and creative thinking, I believe when you have people who are able to think creatively and make great decisions, there's a way for you to tie this into economic diversification, because these people are going to bring very new and innovative ideas, and they're going to tap into areas of the economy that we have never seen before, things that we may not believe would thrive in St. Kitts and Nevis. They're going to find a way. They're going to go do their homework, do their market research, and say, hey, this is a product that I could bring to St. Kitts and Nevis, and that it would not only benefit St. Kitts and Nevis, but I can also offer it to our Caribbean brothers and sisters, our neighbors, Antigua and Barbuda, Montserrat, Anguilla, and these different islands. So I'm in agreement with you, Carla, when you're talking about putting more emphasis on building creative thinkers. Now, there are some people, whether it be in the primary, secondary, or just generally people who have great ideas, but they don't necessarily have the platform for those ideas to become a reality. We have a call on the line. The phone lines remain open, 465. There's a caller? Okay, yeah, we have a caller. Hello, caller, you're on the air. Good morning.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Cornelius.
Yes, how are you doing?
I'm going to focus on agriculture because something just is not going right. For example, earlier in the year, it's tons and tons of produce was fed to animals. Produce that our farmers labored hard and spent X amount of money on, and they were not able to get no kind of financial returns in the end. We now going into joining with Tabasco, which is a great idea. But now we're hearing, I heard the round table, 100 acres of land being provided for the hot pepper export to the Tabasco company in the Americas. But then there was a comment that was made by the Prime Minister that is not right at all. He's saying revolutionary. It's like we was exporting hot peppers to Canada before. Let's look at what's going on presently now with the Minister of Agriculture and the Permanent Secretary, because what they're doing is not right. On behalf of X amount of farmers in the Federation, because it's no way the farmers can't have a say at the head table. The farmers, you heard the Prime Minister say he met with the persons for Tabasco, but he himself have not met with the farmers of St. Kitts, which is a slap in our face. He's supposed to sit down and speak with us. For example, how much wells are being dug in Nevis for the past 3-4 months? How much well was dug on St. Kitts for water to farm for these farms? None. Absolutely none. So how could we expand so much acres of land into agriculture without water? That they should have done before they get into transplanting the seedlings. What about the farmers before who was crying out for the assistance with water for their farms? Would the 100 acres of land, when it's being supplied by water, what would the persons in that area, what effect would kick back to them? Would water supply for the citizens be as adequate as before? These are things they should have looked into before they do what they did. As I say, I'm 100%. What is now being done, it should have been done after the closure or before the closure of the sugar industry. So that we're way behind time. Instead of this huge import bill, we should have been exporting. For example, look at the amount of thousands of seedlings I had to sell off, which was supposed to be transplanted on my farm. Monday gone there, I sowed X amount of thousands of seeds again. I should be able to transplant these seedlings by the end of this year. I want to see if that can happen. So then it's more to it than what is being said. The Prime Minister need to sit down. We want him to come sit down with us. We need him to come sit down with the local farmers. It's a compulsory, because I want to believe the portfolio of agriculture should be taken away from these two men, just these two men alone. Should they be directing the life and livelihood of the local farmers when their farm is very productive, but the local farmers, we ain't given that opportunity? If you want to ask me a question, the line is still there for you too.
No, I'm listening to you, Carl. I'm giving you the opportunity to.
Because I don't think it's right. It's not right. For example, seeds. The local farmers, we ain't got the access to the seeds. The seed bank and saying it's our money, it's our tax-paying dollars being used to import these seeds. But the farmers, that is part of the consortium. That group there, that's the biggest group of farmers on St. Kitts. And it's like, what it is, what have we done these two men? What? It's craziness. These two men, mind you, I'm not against that. But outside of politics. Their jobs outside of politics. It is true that was involved in it before. But then look at it. Why did I not? For example, other persons who were involved in the sugar industry. These men supposedly, like Reginald George and others, put these men to say, well, overlook certain areas, okay? Put the island in blocks, like 4 different blocks. They can't just got these two men, dictating our lives. These two men, it's billions and billions of dollars we could achieve, by exporting our own, and feeding ourselves. The food bill will go way, way down, We have to be waiting at the end of the year for double salary either. We won't have to.
All right, Colin, thank you for your contribution.
Respect.
To the program. Let's take a break, and when we come back, we'll continue our conversation here on the program. You are listening to The Edge here on ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll continue our conversation for today.
The MVI Connect is showing its appreciation for your support by offering its Christmas special discount price starting now. Sedans and regular SUVs can now make the crossing between our twin islands for only EC $200 round trip. Discounts available on other types of personal vehicles as well. At this price, there's no need to think about it. Just roll on, roll off, and go have fun. A new schedule takes effect from 1st November, so visit them at www.iconnectskn.com and iConnectSKN on Facebook, or call them at 662-6818 for up-to-date schedule and pricing information. MVI Connect, bridging the crossing.
Pandora Jewelry brings the sparkle to Black Friday with 30% off store-wide. Treat yourself or someone special with lovingly crafted jewelry and gifts. Shop now through December 3rd and enjoy 30% off your entire purchase. Only at Pandora Jewelry. Offer valid only at participating Pandora retailers. Exclusions apply. See stores for details.
Available at IC Jewelers Port Zante. Call 767-5037 for details.
'Tis the season to be merry with ZIZ Radio and Television Broadcasting Network. And what a better way to make your business stand out than by spreading holiday cheer to your potential customers with our spectacular Christmas package designed to help your business shine during this festive season. We'll tailor our advertising solutions to match your unique business needs. Whether you are a cozy local shop, a trendy online store, or a bustling service provider, we've got something special for you. Plus, our packages are incredibly cost-effective, allowing you to get the most value for your marketing budget. But that's not all. When you choose our Christmas packages, you get ear-catching radio and eye-catching television spots that will keep your business on everyone's mind. Social media campaigns that will keep your followers engaged and excited. So what are you waiting for? This Christmas, make your business the star of the show and give your customers a reason to celebrate. Call us at 465-2621, 465-2622, or visit our sales and marketing department to learn more about our Christmas packages. Together, let's make this holiday season truly magical for your business. Merry Christmas and happy business to you.
From the heart of ZIZ Radio comes a political talk show like no other. The Edge, with host Devonne Cornelius giving you his take on the biggest stories happening in governance today. Got something to say? Let's hear it. Give us a call at 869-465-2555, Monday to Friday from 11 a.m. to 12 noon. One solid hour of in-depth analysis of the machinery that makes our country tick. The Edge, cutting into the matters at hand.
Welcome back to The Edge in ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM. I'm your host, Devonne Cornelius, and thank you for joining me in the program for today, Thursday, November 21st, 2024. Thank you so much for joining. If you're just tuning in, we're talking about economic diversification and some areas that you believe the government should focus on for the 2025 budget. The first caller spoke about more factories in St. Kitts and Nevis, and I made the suggestion of looking at different types of factories, perhaps clothing and textiles, building materials, paint factory. These are some of the different factories that we could have. But my thing is, do your homework first, do your market research, and ensure that it is a business that would be sustainable. It is a business that would be able to thrive in St. Kitts and Nevis. Or perhaps you'd want to include something where you can expand your services and have our neighbors be able to benefit from that service. I've seen a lot of people in St. Kitts and Nevis start businesses and they have not done their homework, and after about a year or two the business fails. And so we talk about people opening companies and opening businesses, but how many of them last more than 5 years? I think that is the real question. I know there is support from, I think, the Ministry of Small Business or the Small Business Development Unit, where they offer different workshops and training sessions for people with businesses to learn how to basically manage those businesses. But will it work? Is it working? These are the questions. But looking at areas where we can diversify, we know St. Kitts and Nevis and the Caribbean at large have been heavily reliant on not just CBI but tourism, where tourism for the most part is our bread and butter, and there are people who make a living from tourism. There are some people who have contributed perhaps their entire life to tourism, whether they work as a taxi driver or they work in the hotels or they have their own little shop boutique that caters to tourists. What could be done to make the industry more sustainable? We're looking at ways of adapting to renewable energy. Now, where St. Kitts and Nevis is positioned and the region as a whole, you know that we are susceptible to hurricanes and, of course, different types of natural disasters. But every year, some Caribbean island which relies on tourism would get a hurricane. And so one of the responses to this is, well, you can't stop hurricanes, but one of the responses to this is to build smart and build climate friendly or climate resilient infrastructure, which is similar to what is being proposed here in St. Kitts and Nevis as it relates to our hospital. And so whenever we are building these hotels and motels and restaurants, and especially in a case where we are building them near to the beach, you're going to have to make the investment. And so the government would have to provide some sort of duty-free concessions where you're able to bring in the equipment and materials that would allow you to construct or to have infrastructure that is climate resilient. And that is the only way, or one of the ways rather, that would make the tourism industry or the tourism sector sustainable. If we're talking about being sustainable and developing as a sustainable island state, these are the things I believe we must put a lot of focus and attention to, not just thinking about the present time but thinking about the future. The fact of the matter is, and the reality is, the climate change is really affecting small island developing states, and we don't have the funds, we don't have the capital to respond to these shocks. The larger territories, the larger countries like the USA, Canada, the United Kingdom, those countries have what it takes to respond to climate change. And the thing is, they are the ones who are contributing the most to the global emissions. Us in the Caribbean, we are not contributing anything significant to global emissions, but we are paying the price for it. And we are paying a very hefty price. And because of that, we are not as far ahead as we could have been in other areas: healthcare, education, agriculture, different sectors of the economy. Because each year, some island or some territory in the region have to pump hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars for recovery efforts. And in cases where that a particular country is not affected, of course, they would lend a helping hand. But the region as a whole have to spend almost billions a year for climate change. Billions a year for climate change. And I know that is a boring topic in the sense that nobody cares about climate change. And that's the reality. There's some people who, quite frankly, they don't want to hear about climate change. But it is affecting us, and it is having a negative impact on other areas of our economy. So in a sense, you're talking about economic diversification. What can we do to take all of our eggs out of one basket and not rely heavily on one sector? The caller that went by spoke about agriculture and investing more in agriculture. We know the challenges that our farmers have on a daily basis. We know that people continue to be encouraged, and different systems are put in place to encourage backyard farming and ensure that we grow and eat local and really address our food import bill. Now, countries in the region like St. Kitts and Nevis were focusing on the 25 by 25 agenda, which simply means to reduce the food import bill by 25% by the year 2025. We have not achieved that, but it is still important for us to continue working towards it. It is very still important for us to continue working towards it. Reducing our food import bill, which would mean that we are now consuming things locally. Now, with a high-end food import bill, we're talking about food insecurity. We're talking about a strained economy, because now we have to come up with the money to foot this hefty bill, and of course difficulty financing the rising cost of food globally. We're talking about something that may seem simple but is big: the taste and nutritional value. Where some of our fruits are imported, things that are supposed to be healthy, or things that the manufacturers will tell you are healthy, or things that you know are supposed to be healthy, but they're not, because they have been processed. And all of these lead to health challenges, which is a major issue that is affecting the Caribbean region. The phone lines remain open, and we take your calls: 465-2555 or 718-577-2916. I believe we have a call on the line. Let's take this call. The caller, you're on the air. Good morning.
Good morning, Devonne.
Good morning. How are you today?
Yeah, giving God thanks as usual, you know. Nothing beat a thankful spirit, eh? And I'm trying to turn on the radio. And I am also thinking that we talking about diversification. Well, truthfully, there's nothing in the budget for it. Now, we're going to build all these houses. What we should be doing is training our people to make, like, the cabinets. Because whenever you have... Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you, yeah.
Yes. What you will notice that when they're building houses over at the peninsula, they advertise for what they call them finishing thing. Mm. And usually Jamaicans, because they come here with their QVC. Sometime way back, they used to make furniture. A lot of this furniture that is being sold, they can be made here. Easy to, you know. So we're not really doing what we could do. I don't know if you know, you're from Nevis. When they were building up the hill, Kitchen Hill, they said all the doors and so were made in Nevis. Do you know about that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, good quality doors. So if we train our people to do good finishing work, You're going to have all of these 2,400 houses. Teach our people how to make the cabinets, do the woodwork. We're talking about sustainable. Maybe they could even start thinking about putting on exterior windows on these houses. Because when the wind starts to blow. So I'm getting at? Now the garment factory, that's a waste of thought. In Malaysia and all those places, people working for penny. Our minimum wage has put us out of the reach of factories, whether we want to believe it or not. It has to be some kind of special factory. The Taiwanese are not bringing any in, but our people can be trained to do it. What we need to do, I would think, bring in more hotels, provide more work, and also export our workers. I think we could do a lot by exporting, rather than having all of these people on the government thing. In Jamaica, I don't know if you know, thousands go to Canada every year. Do you know that?
Mm-hmm. I do.
Thousands. The one from St. Kitts.
Mm-hmm. But when you talk about exporting our workers must
we have excess. We have excess. All these lot of people on step. A lot of them are excess, For them to do their full contribution, we need to thin out the crowd. And some of them could go to the USA as farm laborers. And a lot of the Caribbean countries depend on that. I don't know. And computer, you talk about the solar panel manufacturing. What about that? That's a good idea. Because if they could bring them in and we are able to sell them to the nearby countries.
Right.
Do like Barbados. Nearly everybody else, no matter how small it is, have one. You know that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes, I just look at that and I think it's. So there are things that we can do to diversify. Our young people need marketable skills. This thing about small businesses, some of them should never have gotten a loan because they are not going to be profitable. They're doing the same thing. Everybody can cook rice and chicken and cook up. Everybody can barbecue. Move it to something else. No, man, we got to be realistic.
Yeah, I hear you. I understand.
I mean, even the promoters, one lot of them, some of them need to migrate. There are countries around here that could do well do with their services, but we're not moving. So provision can be made to help our people to migrate to markets where there's a need for our workers.
But that's why we're talking about the free movement. But that idea was not well received. It's not being well received by Caribbean people.
Well, not Nevis then. I'm going to say one more people. And it's a fact. With these small numbers, but the trouble is we have large numbers of unqualified people. And even in the public service, they don't cater for people who are trained. They send you, they put an economic band on you, and then you go and you bust up your brains, you come back. And they have no place to do, no plan. We lack planning. I mean, somebody like you know what I mean? Some places just overburdened. You do economics, you come back, go teach. Teach what? I mean, we're not serious. So when we talk about diversification, the first thing we need is a development plan. That's something you make up to keep the people quiet. Because all we're doing is pacifying the people, trying to provide a riot.
Okay, what are some of the key things you would add to a development plan?
We had one already. For every sector, it goes like this. Every sector in the economy, you must have at least a 5-year plan. If you want to talk about agriculture, the 25 by 25 should have been in the plan a long time. Now, this pepper storage just come up. That should have been planned for. Then you say 100 acres. So how many acres you want to give for the ganja? Bearing in mind we don't own the land. So it means that in order for you to get the land, we have to buy the land to put up these projects. And the pepper is not our project. We're going to go, they send the seed, we go them, we pick them, and they mash them. That is like cutting cane. So for every sector, tourism sector, we want more upscale. So like our news upscale, and Anguilla upscale. We want upscale hotels, not a lot of guest house that they call hotels. And our people have got to be trained. So everything has to be planned. At the CFBC, the courses that they offer must have a projection. You're doing ITC, not just to do what we're doing today. Send more of them to Taiwan, send more of them even China.
All right, we're going to take some more calls. You've made some really great.
Idea, right?
You made some really great suggestions there. So
as usual,
we'll take some more calls. Let's take this other call. Caller, you're on the air. Good morning.
Hello, good morning. Mr. Cornelius, you hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you. Good morning.
In the next 10 or 11 days from now, the 1st of December, to be precise, going to make 49 years since the Right Honorable Robert Llewellyn Bradshaw campaigned his very last election for us to acquire the sugar lands. A lot of people ain't thinking that deep, you know. NACO, National Agriculture Corporation, came out of that. NACO was destroyed. What we are talking about, hotels for white men to come here and run the country. We prefer parents and work on it during slavery. Why hotels? Why not farms? People like Mr. Politics should be given a piece of land to raise animals on. Person who are animals, for example, up in St. Peter's, right?
But Carla, you're assuming that the hotel that will come to St. Kitts and Nevis, all of them are going to be owned by a white person.
Me assuming that, but what I am assuming is the amount of land, the amount of land that they're going to take up. That they're going to take up, right? The hotel they're referring to. Mm-hmm. Those are land, for example, how is it an animal owner can't be given land to raise animals?
Let me ask you a question. Do you know that the same hotels that you're referring to is the biggest buyer for farmers in St. Kitts and Nevis? There are some farmers who make most of their money from the hotels. You know that?
I mean, against that, but listen to what I'm speaking to. Who going to be earning the most of the money?
But our people will be working in the hotels.
No, because
so it's not a case where...
Because, for example, what you're looking at, right? Some people, elders say, some people could only see as far as the nose. They can't see beyond the horizon. Look beyond the horizon. Look beyond the horizon. Because we people, look the amount of young children you see when they got the children they match. The majority of the population in St. Kitts, they are young people.
I don't understand
how come they can't own a piece of the rock?
Carla, you're strained. You're strained.
No, man, strained.
No, you're strained.
The land is agriculture.
You're strained. I hear what you say about agriculture.
How is it we can't get wells that being dug for agricultural purposes? How is it that, how is it now, right? You're talking about hotels, right? How is it Marriott providing water for us? How much millions of dollars they're getting out of William from desalinated water? How much? We have our own wells, we have our own drilling rig in St. Kitts already. That is what we're coming to. Because all these things are put in place under Robert Llewellyn Bradshaw. You ain't understand, you know. You ain't understand really how this thing going in St. Kitts, you know. How is it they buying the land from the private land owners? But we ain't have how much acres of land we got. We ain't know. The politicians them sell them off. We ain't know. The infrastructure was destroyed by them. You ain't understand what I'm getting at, you know. I tell you, you know, we supposed to have sit down little. May if you drink alcohol. We could get a little orange juice downtown.
I can't sit down with you because I can't sit down with you because you don't get vexed. Why? Listen, you don't get vexed when I try to talk to you. So
no, man, I don't get vexed. You see, I'm very emotional. I don't get vexed.
You are not
I'm very emotional about my country. All these things was just mentioned, right? In your thoughts.
I can't sit down with you until because I listen to you.
I'm speaking of in your thoughts.
I listen to you.
My thoughts way beyond how you thinking. And what you think of me is what I make of myself.
No.
Yeah, when people, I can tell you something to it. When people can't use people, they give them all kind of name. My mother teach me that.
Okay.
All right, good boy.
Yeah, thank you so much for your call. Yeah, you're not listening to me. I can't have a conversation with anybody who don't want to listen. I listen to you. Just listen, you know. But the point I was making about hotels is the hotels come to St. Kitts and Nevis. Our people work in the hotels. We have this, I don't even know how to describe it, but we have this mentality that when the hotels come here, they're going to control our people. And the hotels are bad. The hotels provide an opportunity for our people to make a living. I know of farmers and other service providers who make a living from these very same hotels. When the hotels close, it is hard for them, because here we are advocating for us to support local, but because we have a lot of bad mind in the country, we grudge our local people. And so I gonna go and I gonna open a local business because everybody come and say, man, you must open a local business. But because we have a lot of bad mind and a lot of grudge, I can't get my local people to support my business. So I have to go to the hotels that we say are foreign for them to support my business. And that is the reality. And I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. There are people who have gone and opened businesses here in St. Kitts and Nevis, but because a lot of us, we have a lot of bad mind, envy and grudge, we refuse to support our local people. Is the hotels end up support them by purchasing their goods and items and their services? Because we're going to say, well, what she, our company better than people. We must stop it. So in one breath, we're saying that our people must be given access to this, and I'm not disagreeing with that. I believe that if in your country you must be able to thrive, and you must be able to have your local business and have it thrive. But who is going to make it thrive? I can't open a business and then snap my finger and then money come in. I could pay my staff just like that. It has to get support from our local people. So we can't on one hand say that we want local businesses, but on the other hand, we are not supporting those local businesses. And then we vex when the foreigners come here and they are working hard and they are supporting each other. We vex when the hotels come and they are getting access to land or whatever the case may be, but they're hiring people and they're supporting the local service providers that we fail to support. It's 11:58. We can't take any more calls because we're going to wrap up for the midday news. But I just wanted to make that point. I've seen it happen time and time again. That we like to come and say, we must have local businesses and people must open a business here. And when they open the business and you see them, they were probably driving a 1998 Toyota RAV4, but now they're driving a 2024. You grudge them and you stop by from them. And that is the reality. And we must stop it. We must stop it. Because then we can't be serious when we're talking about diversification. We can't be serious when we say we want St. Kitts and Nevis to thrive if we can't even buy a sweetie from a neighbor without grudging them because they went and they bought a bucket of paint to paint the house. That is hypocrisy at its highest. You've been listening to The Edge here on ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM. I'm your host, Devonne Cornelius, and thank you so much for joining me on the program for today. Until next time, don't drink and drive. Don't text and drive. You guys have a good one. Take care of yourself. Drink some water. Rest. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Goodbye.